give the call to the member for Fisher.
Thanks, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I rise to speak on this particular motion because it's of great interest to me, as it is to 27 million Australians who have never been doing it tougher than what they are today. You see, when Labor were campaigning for the last election, they promised Australians the world and have given them an atlas. They promised Australians that they would have better quality of life, cheaper standard of living, a better standard of living. But what they've delivered and continue to deliver is more and more and more hardship. For the bulk of Australian families, there is more month at the end of the money. They can't make ends meet anymore. And why? Well, the reasons, there are a multitude of reasons, but one of the main reasons, of course, is this government's energy policies. They promised Australians in the 2022 election that they would have seen a $275 price reduction in their energy bills. 3 years later, we've seen energy prices go up by 30%, over $1,200 a year. So instead of getting $275 off, they're paying more than $1,000, more than $1,000 than what they were under our government, under the coalition government. Australians just cannot fathom why this government continues down its all-renewables policy when it is impacting upon them and their businesses. So many Australian businesses have gone broke. A record number of businesses have gone broke under Labor's watch. I do want to send a shout-out to the member for Fairfax, Mr Deputy Speaker, because the member for Fairfax endured a 3-day love-in session here last week at the round table. And I want to give the member for Fairfax a shout-out not just for his patience, but for calling out the Treasurer, in that this government has overseen a significant increase in government expenditure. We've gone from 24% of GDP in government expenditure to 27%, just in this last term of government. This government is addicted to spending. And now it poses these questions at this round table about how it can somehow provide a better quality of life, a better standard of living for Australians. Well, I've got a tip for them. Stop spending. Stop spending. This government is due to hit $1 trillion by the end of this year in government debt. And by the end of this term, it'll be around about $1.2 trillion. That's the estimate, $1.2 trillion. And as every Victorian would be able to point out, at some stage, the music is going to stop. Governments can keep spending and keep spending and keep spending, but at some stage, it has to be paid back. At some stage, the music will stop. And Australians, in particular Victorians, know that their Victorian Labor government has driven them into the depths of despair, into the depths of poverty. The Victorian state is now a basket case, just as it was when I left it back in the early 1990s after the collapse of the Victorian state government, the state bank, in the John Cain days. What we are seeing today under this Labor government is a repeat of that. It's seeing a repeat of what the Labor government has done in the state of Victoria over the last dozen or so years. We do not want to see that replicated across the country, but that is part of the reason why Australian standard of living is dropping so markedly. That is why Australians can't afford to pay their fuel bills, their energy bills. It's why they can't afford to put food on the table anymore. Australians are being called upon to make a decision as to whether they want to heat their homes or whether they want to eat. That is a decision that Australians should not be having to make in 2025, but they are because of this economically lazy federal Labor government.
And I thank the member for Fisher.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.